Shalom, shalom. Before I start, I want to give all praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Hakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone that rule well. Peace and mercy to the elect, to the house of David, the 144,000, and the rest of the men, women, and children that the Lord will have mercy on in these last days. Shalom. It's the brother Dama Agabar here from GMS Los Angeles with another lesson. Lord willing, you're edified. And this is just going to be a lesson just dealing with rolling in the spirit and understanding, times and places, which you have other brothers that did lessons on this today. And it's funny because when I was at work today, I was meditating on doing a lesson like this today, because of the recent events that took place according to certain Israelite groups and concerning the Passover. I just, after all is said and done and meditating upon it, I just really feel like it was a lesson to be learned from all of that. I think it's something that all of us brothers, leaders, men and sisters that's in this truth could learn from that. And that is that, you have to understand, there's times and there's places for everything, and even though some things may be lawful to do, it's not always the right time or the right season to always do those type of things. Like, for example, we understand that the scriptures say that a man can have more than one woman, but really and honestly, it's not the time nor the place to be multiplying wives into yourself in these last days. You know. Yeah, it's lawful. Yeah, we understand that it's scriptural, but it's sometimes it's just not expedient for that. Especially right now in these last days, we should be really dialed in. We should be really focusing on prophesying. We should be really focusing on getting our houses in order. Not being in a spirit of pleasure and you know having all these wives and spending time and going on vacation. It's just not the time nor the seasons for that. And that applies to a lot of situations that are in this truth. There are a lot of things that are lawful, man. A lot of things that you can do. Yeah, it's not no scripture that says that you can't go party, you can't go to the club, but the truth and honesty, there's a time and a place. That shouldn't be a every weekend type of thing, a multiple a week type of situation. Neither should drinking. Drinking is lawful, but you shouldn't drink every fucking day. You shouldn't drink every day. You shouldn't do certain things that are lawful every day, man. You should have the discernment and the and the wherewithal to understand when it's expedient to partake in certain things. That's you know that we're allowed to do. And that's why you got to constantly, like we always say out here in California when we talk to the brethren, always tell brother, just pray that Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai keep you in the spirit at all times, man. Because it's a constant battle between this flesh and the spirit, man. And us being in this flesh, man, your flesh wants to chill. Your flesh wants to do those things that feel good. Your flesh want to do certain things, especially if it's lawful to do and it's not against the scriptures to do. And sometimes, you find yourself doing those things when it's not convenient or it's not expedient, man. So this is just going to be a lesson just dealing with that, Lord willing, you're edified. And this is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. It says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. And that's very true. There's a time and a place for everything, man. But you have to be in the spirit to understand when is a time for particular things. It says a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, and a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, and a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak. And that's a very big one right there, man. You know, I think a lot of guys don't really, you know, a lot of times they fall short when it comes to being silent, man. Because sometimes a lot of guys find themselves justifying themselves or opening their mouths or speaking at a time when they shouldn't be speaking and just listening, you know. And I feel like this is something that everybody can work on, but this is just a real huge one. And this is one that a lot of guys find themselves not knowing or discerning the time to do these things and find themselves in worse situations. Okay, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. And these are all things that the Lord has allowed us to do here on the planet Earth. But like I said, there's a time and a season for everything, man. And but you have to be in the spirit, and you have to be mature enough, especially if you're in the position of leadership, to understand when it's the proper time to do these things. Because at the end of the day, especially being in a leadership position, you're an example, and the example that you set could either be for the benefit of the body, or it could be for the detriment of the body. And you doing things in front of the your congregation or your members that's out of season can send the wrong idea, and that can become a cancer that can infect everybody that's under you. To have them to be in that same type of spirit of not discerning when there's the proper time and the proper place to do certain things, man. And if they constantly see you constantly always saying, oh well, am I breaking the law? Am I breaking the law? I can't do that. I can't do that. When the season for it is not proper, then you put them in that same, they're gonna follow after that same example, and they could use that same example in a different situation that could either cost them their life, that could cost them to get locked up, and that could also cause for the ministry to be blamed on some shit that shouldn't have happened if they had just, had better examples or used better discernment at that particular time, not to do a particular thing, man. That's why you got to always be in the spirit. You got to always pray that the Most High, is guiding you, man. Because, being in this truth, your next move could be your last move, and you can find yourself in a serious situation where you can find yourself dealing with some serious judgment if you're not discerning the times, man. All right, let me get this next precept. This is 1 Corinthians 6:12. It says, all things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be bound under the power of any. So you got to be very careful. There are certain things that you can easily, say, oh, well, show me the scriptures where I can't do this, or show me in the scriptures where I can't do that, and I can't do this, and I can't do that. And I feel like a lot of guys use that just to ultimately to do what the hell they want to do when certain things aren't, when it's not a particular time to do that, man. And we just had an example of that with the Sakari, which I'm not trying to make this video be all about them. I'm just using that as an example so that brothers can learn from that situation and apply it to any situation that you're in while being in this truth, man. And you got to be very mindful of how you conduct yourself when you're out there, especially now in these times of social media, during these times that everybody got a camera phone, during the time of everybody want to record you, everybody want to try to trap you up and catch you slipping out here, man. Especially us that are calling ourselves the chosen people of the Most High, and this goes for all camps, man. Everybody wants to see us do things that they can point the finger and say aha and blame this ministry, man. And you don't want to be a particular individual that causes that to happen, you know, because it's gonna fall back on somebody, you know. And especially if you're in a position of leadership, it always going to fall back on you. Or if you're a younger brother in this camp, you're going to do it, but it's going to always fall back on who's the head. And that's why it's very important for us that are in positions of leadership to be those good examples, man. To constantly be putting it in the minds of the people that are under us to make sure that they're on their P's and Q's, man, and understand that they're not just representing themselves, man. Hey, this ministry is bigger than GMS. It's bigger than the Sakari. It's bigger than the ISUPK. It's bigger than the IUIC. It's all about Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And you got to move and act as if, you know, when you do things that, yeah, people are going to look at us, but ultimately, you're bringing an ill and bad name upon the Most High. And I feel like if you look at things like that, then you would be very careful in how you carry yourself in this truth, man. And all this worldly shit, it has no place in this truth, man. Scriptures tell you that, use this world but not abuse it. But a lot of you brethren are out there abusing this world, man. And you're using this truth. A lot of you guys are in this truth and you're abusing this truth by, bringing too many worldly aspects into this truth, man. Yeah, like it's not unlawful to have a social media, but are you using social media, you know, spiritually? A lot of you are using social media as if you were just niggas in the world, man, and it's getting a lot of you into sticky situations. It's causing you to make the ministry to be blamed, man. It's causing it to make it seem like, that this is a very worldly, that basically that this truth is a very worldly thing, and that you can come into this thing and do whatever the hell you want to do and bring that worldly vibration into this truth when that's not it at all, man. You're supposed to, when you come into this truth, you're supposed to separate yourself from the world. You're supposed to become a new creature. All this worldly shit that you guys used to do, you bringing it into this truth. With the weight of social media on top of it, it's just very disgusting, man, and it's very tacky, and it's not, and it's not holy, man. It's just giving the whole truth a black eye, man. And some of you guys, need to be accountable to where, honestly, you need to just stay the hell off social media, man. Because that shit is getting you in more trouble and is having the ministry to be blamed, man. Just serve Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. Be that new creature, man. Think about what Yahweh Shai would do. I mean, think about it. If you think if Yahweh Shai came here, he would be all on social media, man. Doing a lot of things that you guys be doing on social media. Throwing up gang signs and just here it is, you in the truth. But I can't, if I didn't know no better and I see you talking on social media, I would just think you were just a nigga, just another nigga in the world, man. But then you'll come with that. Well, tell me against the law where I can't have social media, where you always try to justify bullshit, and that's a lot of you guys are in that vibration and in that spirit, and I can tell you right now, it's not pleasing to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And a lot of you are doing this shit and carrying on like that because you really want the love of the world, man. Because if you really cared about what Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai think, then that's who you would be. That's who you would try to always please. A lot of you guys, whether you want to believe it or not, you're trying to please these people in the world, man. You want to have one foot in the truth and one foot in the world, and you want to bring this world into the truth, man, and bring in members and bring in followers into this truth through worldly tactics, man. And when you do that, you bring in a lot of unsincere people, man. And they come in this truth with the wrong idea of what this truth is all about. They come in this truth with this worldly vibration, man. And they try to mix the two, and they don't never mix well. All right. So let me get another precept. I had a couple. I got just one more, two more. I'm not gonna make this too much longer. I'm just, really just, just speaking through the spirit, man. It says Romans 8:5, for they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit. See, and you should always have this in your mind on every decision that you're making, man. Are you making decisions after the flesh, or are you making decisions after the spirit? Because if you were making decisions after the spirit, you would constantly consider before you do anything, man. Even before, you make certain big decisions, you should be asking counsel, man. You should be going to the head of your camp or going to the elders and the apostles or somebody that's above you in the spirit to see, to tell them, ask for a spiritual guidance on certain things, man. A lot of you guys just like you guys said, you just want to you gonna do what the hell you want to do, you know, and that's how you end up making, putting yourself in a lot of bad situations, man. And especially if you do these things, you make these fleshly decisions, and then you get called out for it, you get rebuked for it, and you still react in a fleshly and worldly manner. You just ain't in the spirit at all, man. So therefore, you can't please the Most High. You might think you are because you can justify yourself and you can pull some scriptures out that'll make it, that could make it seem like what you did according to the law wasn't wrong, but it was at the wrong time and it was in the wrong mind frame, man. And if you're not mindful of that, hey, it's gonna be what it's gonna be, man. It says, "For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace." Right? Because when you move in the spirit, man, you're gonna, before you make moves, you're gonna, think about it two, three times, man. You're gonna really sit and consider, okay, is this expedient, man? I know I can do this, but is it the right place? Is it the right time? Do I have time for this? Is this gonna make the ministry look bad? Am I gonna, you know, you gotta play all these scenarios in your mind, man. And sometimes you might come to the conclusion, you know what? If you in the spirit that, you know what, now at the time, man, I'll just fall back on this shit. You know, maybe some other time. Now, maybe at that moment, it just might be the time for it. Maybe a month from later or 2 months from later, maybe that might be the time to do a certain particular thing, man. But it's not always the time to do certain shit just because, it may be lawful, man. You know, it says, because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High, for it is not subject to the law of the Most High, neither indeed can be. See, you find yourself moving like a two-third in this world, man. And you wonder why you always finding yourself in sticky situations, man. Why you're always getting cussed out. Why you're always being put on the burner, man. And a lot of you guys, man, the Lord uses people The Lord uses certain individuals and brethren to let you know about yourself. But if you ain't in the spirit enough to catch on and to see what the Lord is trying to tell you, man, you'll miss that message and, you know, go on justifying yourself. And sometimes it's just best to just take the low, take the L, man. Sit your ass down somewhere, man. And that goes for all of us, even myself included, man. I'm not speaking like I'm perfect. There's times where, I be wanting to do certain things, and I know that I ain't going off on it, but sometimes spirit just be like, you know what, man, just fall back. Don't even, hey, now ain't the time, man. Hey, if it's the Lord's will, then it'll present itself again. If not, then hey, you made the right decision. But if it comes back around, then hey, maybe that is the time to do it, man. But sometimes you just gotta trust the spirit, man. You know, it says, so they that are in the flesh cannot please the Most High. Remember, yeah, because you can't please the Most High. Yeah, you might please the world. You might please niggas that listen to you and that watch your videos. You might please them with a carnal and unspiritual decision. But guess what? It's all about pleasing Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And I think a lot of you guys are puffed up. You letting a lot of these followers and people that watch your videos and are constantly praising you and telling you, oh, these niggas just hating. These niggas, they haters, they this, they that. Go to your head, man. And you find yourself trying to please man more than the Most High, which is not going to end very well for you, man. You know? To hell with these people out here. To hell with the opinion of somebody that's not in the truth, man. That's not out there putting in this work with you, man. And even sometimes, brother, people that's putting in the work with you, sometimes you got to disregard, their comments or their opinions sometimes, man. You know? It says, but ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit, if so be that the spirit of the Most High dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the spirit of Hamashiach, he is none of his. See, like Yahweh Shai had instances to where he had to use spiritual discernment, like that the time where they wanted to crown him king, man. Now, if he was in the flesh, he would have been like, you know what? These people's feeling me. I am a king. He would have got up on that horse. He would have put that crown on. And he would have made a fleshly decision that wasn't the proper decision to make, man, because he understood that it wasn't his time yet. But now, if he was in the flesh, he would have made that fleshly decision, you know. And that's what you got to think. What would Yahweh Shai have done, man? You know. And I think a lot of people don't have that thought processes in their mind when certain particular things happen, especially when it's something that's tugging on the flesh. You know, a lot of Jake just want to act on it, man. And then being that spirit that, well, the Most High know my heart. The Most High forgive me. We under grace. You need to stop tempting the Most High like that, man. Because that one last time could be your very last time, man. You know? It says, now, if any man have not the spirit of Hamashiach, he is none of his. And if Hamashiach be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the spirit is life because of righteousness. See? So we got to be very wise and be very careful, man. Let me get one more precept. This is 2 Corinthians 6:3. It says, giving no offense in anything, that the ministry be not blamed. All right? And you don't want to have the ministry to be blamed, man. Especially on something that you did because you wasn't rolling in the spirit, or you wasn't because you was making carnal decisions, fleshly decisions that caused the ministry to have a black eye, man. And then you got to, then you get the call up top. Then you got niggas who ain't even in the truth, all up on your bumper, man. Calling you out, calling you a faggot and shit, all type of bullshit, man. When you could have just easily made a decision. If you had just made a whole different decision, things could have went a whole different way, man. So, like I said, at the end of the day, there's something for all of us that could be learned from what happened from this certain particular situation that I'm speaking about. Hey, and I even hope that they learn from it and they do the right thing and they make it right and get off the high horse and stop acting as if, you know, just because it was lawful that, you know, it wasn't a good decision, man. At the end of the day. And like I said, this can apply for many, many levels in this truth, not just this one particular situation. So it's definitely something we all can learn from and grow from. And hopefully they grow from it too. Because hey man, we're too late in the game to be making serious offenses like this and fleshly decisions like this, and especially in these times of judgment, man. You don't want to tempt the Lord. You don't want to, be rolling like that, especially in these last times, man, because Hey, it's very serious times, man, and you want to make sure that, especially during this time, the time of Pesach, that you're casting out old leaven, that you're growing, that you're not making the same mistake that you would have made 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Now, you know, because it just shows that you ain't really changing. That old man is still present, and you still got that old leaven in you, man, which is pride and whatever it is, whatever else it might be, because we all know personally what we need to work on, man. Nobody needs to tell you. You should know. And if you see those things still coming up and popping up, then you should know through the spirit that, hey, that's a problem that you ain't working on and that needs to be worked on. If not, then guess what? You ain't gonna be passed over, man. The blood of Yahweh Shai is not gonna be on your side when all is said and done because of that leaven that you couldn't cast out because of your pride, man. You know. So it says, but in all things approving ourselves as the ministers of the Most High, and much patience and affliction. Yeah, and patience, man. We all got to be patient. We're all suffering certain things, man. It says, in afflictions and necessities and distresses and stripes and imprisonments and tumults and labors and watchings and fastings, by pureness, by knowledge, by long suffering, by kindness, by the Holy Spirit, by love unfeigned. And sometimes we're going to have to go through all these things, but it's how you react through the spirit when you are catching some of these things, because some of us catch afflictions, and those afflictions cause us to react the wrong way. you know or sometimes you can be in a necessity, and your reaction to that could be not in the spirit and could cause a flack and strife, and put yourself in certain situations that if you were thinking straight and rolling in the spirit could have been ironed out, man. you know so all these things that we got to go through, improving ourselves in his ministries, they're all things that that we got to grow from. Certain things that happen that are happening for a particular reason, but we just got to be spiritual enough to handle them maturely and righteously. It says, by the word of truth, by the power of the Most High, by the armor of righteousness on the right hand and on the left, by honor and dishonor, by evil report and good report. And you can have an evil report that is evil, man. It goes both ways. Yeah, you got guys that could have an evil report about you, but on their end, it could be just wickedness, but you were being righteous. But you can have an evil report on you that was an evil report because you wasn't rolling right, man. But we want to, if this is going to happen to us, we're going to have an evil report. We want to make sure that it's evil spoken on their part, but not on our part, as deceivers and yet true, as unknown and yet well known, as dying and behold we live, as chastened and not killed, as sorrowful yet always rejoicing, as poor yet making many rich, as having nothing and yet possessing all things. So, hey, with that, Lord willing, you were edified. Lord willing, we can all learn from these recent events that happen and continue to grow and mature in this truth and make the right decisions, man, and do what's always pleasing to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. So call Allah Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and until the next lesson.